Filipinos are known for their work ethic, but if you don't know how to harness that, you're missing out on their full potential. Hi, my name is Bryan and this is the Philippine Business Playbook podcast. I'm also the CEO of Tache. On today's episode, we're going to talk about Filipino work ethic. They're world renowned for being loyal, working hard, really being empathetic for the client and the customers. But if you're not really tapping into that in a smart way, you're going to miss out on their full potential. So in this episode, I'm going to go into those details and show you how to best work with your Filipino employees. The first point I want to talk to you about is their innate desire to please. So there's a reason why Filipinos are well known for being nurses in the US and other kind of personal service roles. It's because of their innate desire to help out. They're going to want to really please you and have a positive feedback from you. And one thing you can do to really lean into that is to have a reward system within your company. Whether it's going to be small rewards on a weekly or monthly basis for having successful outcomes in what they're doing or hitting their KPIs, those rewards are really going to be beneficial. I know that what we do is have annual rewards for people, having tenure. In fact, this year we gave a 10-year anniversary reward to one of our employees, and to see the pride in her face and the joy and how she shared that on social media was really touching to me. And it's something that's really easy to do, and you may not even consider that, even if it's just the 1-year anniversary or 2-year anniversary. I know in the US it's not always considered a huge thing, but we've done things like give mugs and cups in the past, and those are things that really they embrace, and so reward for their hard work and their desire to please you, and it shows your desire to please them as well, and so I think that reciprocation really works well. Another item that you really want to think about is promoting a team-oriented approach. So Filipinos really like to work together with their teammates, really like to be, socially in a group setting. So you want to have projects that they can collaborate with others and really provide a clear guidance on what the project is and who the team lead is and how they can work together. If you can find ways to have your team collaborating together, you're going to get a lot more out of them, because Filipinos are really by nature social people, and they like working in a team-oriented setting. And so if you can promote a way for them to work together, you're going to get a lot more out of them. And that's part of the reason why I'm a really big fan of work in the office setups. Filipinos just naturally work well in team settings, and they're, as we mentioned earlier, they want to please, they want to work together. And so if you have junior people working with senior people, they're just naturally going to be helping each other. They're going to be working with each other to really have success as a team. And I think so if you lean into that team-oriented approach, you're going to have success with your Filipino team. The next item I want to talk to you about is respect for authority and leadership. So I know for a lot of our clients, it can be a little bit weird that first time they meet with their team and they're calling them sir or they're calling them ma'am. And it really is just a sign of respect for the leader or the person in charge for the team. And as a client, you're going to have leadership and authority over your team, and they're going to want to show you that respect. That is just culturally the norm here, and it goes with respect for your elders, respect for people of authority. That's just common within the language and their actions in everyday life, and it spills over to how they interact in a business setting. So what I do is I don't necessarily require people to call me sir, but there's definitely a lot of employees that just feel more comfortable doing that. And so I embrace that and I allow that. I think that you can I guess, cause awkwardness if you try and change people's social norms. And so we want to kind of allow that. Additionally, you want to lean into that at the local level as well. So you want to have local managers, local leaders that can help lead their teams. And so the junior level people are really going to appreciate having a local manager that they can look to answer questions, to give them guidance. I know that when I was first starting and you're hiring, more junior people, it's going to be difficult for them to maybe ask you all the questions they want to ask you. And I know a lot of our clients, especially if they're starting with 2 or 3 people, one of their concerns or one of their challenges is they've got just junior people working for them. And they find that it's difficult to get communication from them on questions that they have. And you're constantly telling your employees, hey, if you got any questions, talk to me. I'm here to help you. I want to answer your questions. And you have to do that, and I support that. But as soon as you can get to a point where you've got a local high-level person that's the team lead, and then they can help answer those questions for their junior people, now you're taking off. You're really going to be able to expand the team. That person's going to be able to answer the simple questions, if you will, and then facilitate taking those questions to you when they get a little bit harder or something that they don't understand. So having a local leader and leveraging that respect for authority that the Filipino have is really going to advance your team, and I think is something that you really want to consider doing as quickly as possible with your team to get the most out of them. So another thing to really think about is that the Filipino people really have close family relationships. So a lot of our employees are the main breadwinners of their families, and they're going to have extended families with the home, and a lot of times they're going to have their parents living with them. They're going to have children, certainly, and so it becomes a multi-generational family. And one thing that we do, and a lot of our teams do, or a lot of our clients do, is they have benefits that are not only for the kids but also for parents and other people in the home. It allows for that person to really be able to support their extended family. And so if you really are thinking about the family and the way that Filipino people interact within their family culturally, you can really leverage into that. I know that a lot of Filipinos, they're hoping to have a long-term employment situation. It's kind of like how it was in the US 25 years ago, where you would work at a company for 15, 20 years, you would retire, you'd get your retirement benefits and really have a long career with the company. I know that nowadays in the US, employees, job hop every 3 or 4 years or even less. And that makes it difficult for companies to create that institutional knowledge. I'm really lucky that we have employees that are working with us for 4, 5, 8, 10 years, as I said earlier. And that really allows you to grow the culture within the company, to grow the institutional knowledge, as I said, to not have to keep training people. There's all kinds of statistics about if you replace somebody, it sets you back 3 or 4 months. It costs you as much as 1 year's salary for that person to retrain them, to bring them up to speed. And really, if you can keep people on board, you're really going to be in a better situation. So the family-oriented nature of Filipinos really leads towards them wanting to have a family-oriented position within a company. And ideally, they would love to work for your company for 10, 15, 20 years. I know I tell my employees that have been with me for 5 or 7 years, I'm saying, hey, you've been with me for 5 years, I want you with me for another 15 years. And that's not a scary scenario for these employees. That's a scenario that they embrace and really want to strive for. So I know for my team members, I'm hoping that they be with me for a very long time, and I'm trying to create a family-oriented culture within the company so that they feel like this is part of their family and they can be here for a long time. Another item that I want to mention is their strong adaptability and their resilience, and really their desire to grow. One of the things that really is not obvious, but is really obvious when you're here in the Philippines, is the Filipinos' desire to really grow and learn and be on the cutting edge of stuff. I heard a stat recently about the Philippines and how, as a developing country, they have the most internet usage, most mobile usage, the most citizens that have internet access, despite them being a developing country. The Philippines has always been on the cutting edge as far as getting into advanced technologies and really leaning into things right away. So AI, as it came out, in the past year, I mentioned that to my team, and they were on top of it as far as trying to leverage that within their workflow as quickly as possible. And that's true with every new technology that comes along. The Philippines is often one of the first places to really embrace those new technologies and make it part of their everyday life. And that's not necessarily true, I think, in all areas where you might be thinking about building your team. Additionally, that desire to grow and learn means that if you're willing to give them learning opportunities, additional training, whether or not it's online courses or mentorship, they're going to really embrace that. I know that at Tache, we have a Toastmasters club where we really support employees joining that club and advancing their careers and learning how to communicate even better and speak in front of groups and communicate with junior people and senior people. And to see employees embrace that and volunteer to join that club is great, and I think indicative of just the Filipino nature and how they want to advance and grow and take advantage of all the opportunities that are available to them. So these are just some of the tips that I wanted to pass along to you as far as how you can lean into the common nature of Filipinos and really get the most out of them. I know that it's easy to say, well, Filipinos want to do a good job and they work really hard, but I think that for some of our clients, they do a better job of really leaning into that and providing an environment so that you can have the best results from your team. And hopefully some of these tips that we went through here can help you get the most out of your team. If you like this video, please hit that like button, comment below. We definitely want to hear your thoughts, give you some feedback and start a conversation there. And obviously, if you haven't already, and why haven't you, hit that subscribe button. We're going to be sharing a lot more interesting feedback and comments for you to help you build your team. And if you know anyone that's building a team in the Philippines, has a team, is interested in building a team, please share this video with them. That helps us get the word out, and I think most importantly helps us help Americans that are looking to build teams in the Philippines do it, I think, in the most productive way. And that's the best thing for everyone, which is really what the goal is when I started this company and when I started this podcast, which is to provide the best opportunity for American companies to work with Filipinos, get them together, and advance both, which is the best case scenario for everyone. So until next time, I'm Bryan. This is the Philippine Business Playbook podcast, and looking forward to talking to you again.